We are here for the Between Lilacs in the Dark, episode 8. So, I think as we transition from day into dusk, I think the orange fingers of dusk reach into Mrs. Pemberton Potts's home. Her wards are getting dinner uh, put together, ready, what have you. But I think in a darker corner of her home, I think we end up seeing what looks like sconces high up on the wall, lit with candlelight, and they shine down distinctly on a draped painting. This painting is old. This painting looks like it's from quite a few years ago when Pemberton Potts was younger and still belonged to the Royal Explorers Club. And what it has in it is the depiction of members of the REC. We see the camera pan on all of the faces. Older, younger, taller, shorter. But what is distinctive about this particular portrait is that every single person in the picture, except for Mrs. Pemberton Potts and her betrothed, Sir Thomas Shearer Cole, are stabbed to the heart with branches. And we fade to black, and we fade in on Dr. Whitford.
The prompt is narrate a flashback to the first time you experienced love for the person you lost. The first time Elinor experienced love wasn't anything special. She and Dell were studying out in the park with a spread of grisly textbooks, trying not to get grease from their sausage rolls on their notebooks. It was still a little too cold to actually be picnicking, but it was an oddly sunny day, and Dell had proposed they go outside, and Elinor never said no to anything Dell had been excited about. The day was so sunny, and Dell was happy, and Elinor had just read a really interesting article about intestinal torsion when the wind came up and grabbed Dell's rose-covered hat and sent it skidding across the lawn. Elinor leapt up to chase the hat, and in short order, both Elinor and the hat ended up at a particularly disgusting pond. And as Elinor stood there, clutching a filthy hat with slimy water creeping up her dress, Dell burst into laughter. And with the sun behind her and the color high in her cheeks, she looked like an angel. And Elinor realized that she was, and probably had been for months, completely in love with Dell.
Fade out of that scene. And we fade into dusk phase for our characters. So, let's see, dusk phase. You can attempt to answer a question if you have collected enough clues and wish to do so. Anybody have any particular question they want to try and answer? Have a theory? Plucking around? What do you think?
Oh yeah.
Okay, all right, all right. I mean, we got your figs pigs in your order of Azure Eyes. So what do you think?
Oh, Azure Eyes. I like this guy is he's a grifter.
Okay, okay, okay. All right. So
100%.
so the question is the order of Azure Eyes real? Unlock the next appropriate question depending on what your answer is. So that's a complexity 2. What do you want to use? What's your theory?
Oh no, it's not real. He's
Okay, okay,
he is he's a charlatan,
okay.
and he is, fomenting a cult for the same reason that, men everywhere have fomented cults for centuries, which is money and or sex and or both. Not necessarily in that order, but like there's clearly both coming in. So,
Okay.
um,
Which clues do you want to use for that?
let's see. Um, does anybody else have? I'm enamored of the idea that the syringe with the last few drops of an unidentified liquid is, is whatever he's on. That Dr. Whitford's examinations of it comes up with a novel mix of like laudanum and cocaine or something like that.
Ooh.
That his own special formula that he's concocted.
Sure. Okay.
Is examination injecting you and you've just been tripping for a
Whoa!
flower?
I like the idea that the sentence I am real written in blood is, yeah, of course, that's exactly what someone who's not real would say. And that it's trying too hard.
Yeah.
Like,
I love
what
that
I mean?
too.
Like,
yeah.
Okay. All right.
And that like, but if you get the followers like hyped up, that's the kind of thing they could see and go, oh, it's amazing, but like in the harsh light of day, we'll look at it and we're like, this is just like somebody finger painted it on that surface there.
yeah.
And I kind of like the idea that most of these things that we're seeing, we are seeing outside of the context that he creates for, the people in the club, kind of outside of that performance. And that's why we are able to kind of, sort of cotton to it. I think that handwritten invitation to join is that, that personal touch, right? That he wants to try and bring to it. And also the idea that like, he thinks that, that he might have a mark in Lady Ross Carter.
So aside from the syringe and the sentence written in blood, do you want to use the handwritten invitation clue, or did you want to use one of the other ones?
Let's see. What do we got? Filled with patient notes.
Or
I mean,
I think
so I think we want to use the carrying on with the club
with the
member.
lady.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
lady in capital, but I mean you can use that for whatever the next doodad
I'm just
is.
thinking of very euphemism.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Double
How much
entendre.
progress they made. Yeah.
Okay, so all right, so you're using those three clues with the Dr. Klauser was seen carrying on with a club member.
Yep.
Okay, so three clues. I mean, on the complexity too. I mean, like +1, unless you want to add yet another clue.
Yeah. Let's. I mean, I
boost.
think Kim is right that like convene with the lady. Sure, sounds like,
God. Okay.
exactly what it sounds like. Like it's barely even code, right? That's
Okay. All right. I mean, like, and it also could be like a hallucinatory, again, as you say, code of ready to convene, huh? Yeah.
Or the whatever's in the syringe could be the like.
Oh,
I
right.
Oh,
Code
sure,
for
yes.
the
Yeah,
formula.
okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so +2
All right.
then. So
+2. Yeah. I like if we can get a +2, we should roll it at least +2.
okay. So do you want to roll, Jim?
Yeah, I'm the one gung ho for this theory. So
You are.
let me. So we've got two dice +2.
Yep.
I'm on the witch dice here.
Okay.
Let me roll that. Boom. Oh, that's a 4. That's fantastic.
What the heck?
So we could.
God, I gotta take a picture of this. What the hell?
It's
So
just a dice roll, entirely random. We could. So how does spending masks work in the new rules?
So the new rules say if you have not used the threat mask yet,
Okay.
then you can automatically take that and it covers everybody, but everybody still has to do it. Yeah. So Mask of Catharsis will bump up the roll to 7 to 9.
Yeah.
So that would bring it to 7 to 9. You are right. And it'll just be, whatever, complicated. But everyone has to do the Mask of Catharsis. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, so long as you're willing to do that, you're good to
keep
rolling. So, let's see. Mask of Catharsis. Sorry. Should put that in there already, I think. Yep. Each hunter narrates a flashback to a time they felt released of all of their burdens.
Yeah.
So, have that ready for the end of the session or, for the beginning of next. All right?
Okay.
So, whichever you'd like. Okay, so you're 7 to 9, so you are correct ish with the order of eyes not being real. Let me pull that out. Sorry. Okay. Isn't real. If the order isn't real, you have to find out, what is Dr. Klauser up to? That is your next question that you have to answer. Okay. And this is a complexity 4. Okay. So resolve the threat by confronting Dr. Klauser and satisfying yourself that he means no harm to London, or failing that, by putting a stop to his plans. Okay, so you got to figure out what the hell he's up to. Okay,
All right.
that is your goal. You have like 1 clue left on the board to play with, so gets to investigating. All right. I had put down Pinkerton as the next active threat, but it is not fully active yet because I need to get an answer or two from the Americans still, and unfortunately, Mike wasn't able to join us tonight, so like we will stave that off to hopefully the next session. Okay. So we are still dealing with Figs, Pigs, and Order of Azure Eyes. So next in the play structure. Resolve any playbook moves or special moves that are resolved during the dusk phase. Okay, so American's missing for this, so we don't worry about that right now. Dusk. Okay. Let's see who else. All right, Resurrectionists. Put them in play. You choose 2 options for the Grave Robbers. What do you think? What do you think, Dr. Whitford?
I have a question.
Sure.
Last time we spent our entire night phase in Hargrave House, which clearly wouldn't have done me any good to have my Resurrectionist again. I know we're not going to do that again.
Yeah,
Oh,
but I mean,
I'm sorry.
you can, I mean, like, you know, it's regardless of whether you're in an active phase like London or an inactive phase like Hargrave House, the Resurrectionists are in play because you set them off in dusk. During night phase, you do whatever, and then come dawn, they either give you stuff or you whatever the move says, right? So you just pick 2 things.
Okay.
For them to do. Okay.
So that question was specifically about the move where one of them tags along and how
yes.
I decide whether or not what I'm doing this night is interesting to have a Grave Robber tag along. But I think I'll just get another.
Yeah. So this would be a question for all of y'all then. So I mean, like, if you want to like discuss that now, like, do you want to do a London phase, which means that you are more active, in which case, you know, Harley and his pals can, like, you know, join y'all. You can totally do that, or, you know, do another Hargrave House night phase instead. That is completely up to you. What do you think?
Nah, I'm gonna go out on the town.
Yeah, we got some clues to gather.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some trouble to get into.
All right, great. All right, so then that gives you your answer, Dr. Whitford. What would you like to do?
Let's face some complications. I feel like I'm fairly condition free. Yes. I would like to have Harley tag along and get a piece.
Okay, great. All right, so come dawn, you will get a body part. Okay, and then you will have him come during the night phase. You take the following condition, ghoulish. Any roles associated with actions the Grave Robber is helping you with are taken at advantage. At advantage. So when you use Harley, he's helping you. So advantage for that. So keep that in mind. Okay. So Resurrectionists. So just remind me. It's like I gotta enact Harley as, like, you know, being your buddy for tonight. Okay. Harley and part at dawn. Okay, cool. All right, and then you want to do a London. Okay, great. That brings us to the next question. What would each of you like to do during a said night phase? I will start with Lady Ross Carter. Where would you like to go?
So I'm still fully decked out in this makeup that we spent so much time to conceal my identity. I'm going to try to exploit that and approach Dr. Kessler head on.
You mean Dr. Klauser?
Klauser, yes.
Okay.
Names. You know me, names.
That's fine. It's fine.
I got close there.
Okay.
Klauser. That's right.
Okay. Alrighty. I believe I said he was due to come back that night to do like do a presentation.
That's what I recall. There was some sort
Yeah.
of event.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And then Dr. Whitford. Now that you have Harley in tow, where would you like to go?
I want to work on Figg's pig some more, but I'm not 100% sure where I would go. Other than I don't want to go back to their house, and I don't want to go back to the asylum.
Okay, let me see. Second.
So in order to resolve the Patrick question, like because we need to resolve it, right? That like by answering it, we unlock the opportunity to resolve that. Yeah.
Correct.
We need to lure him into the open.
Yes.
I could go be helpless somewhere. But with slightly more backup this time, but I guess that's Harley unless Jack wants to tag along.
Yes, I will tag along for that. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to just go be hapless outside of his house? Or
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm gonna go back there.
Okay, so basically you're trying to lure the boar man.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Lure the boar man. And then capture or destroy him. Okay. We will see how this goes. And this will be like near or at the house?
Yes.
Okay. And then let me pick an unseen, because I believe that is...
I have a theory about Hortensia that I could probably be looking for evidence of outside the house. That's interesting.
Okay. I mean, like, you can...
Also cool. Yeah, we
you
can
can pull
gather
on
clues too. Yeah.
Yeah, you can totally pull on an information move whenever you like. I mean, like, whenever you feel it's warranted, for sure. Let me just... Okay, night phase. Give me a second. Okay, unseen. Okay, great. Let's see what looks good today. Okay, you guys are going to do moonlit mudlarking tonight. Okay, the Port of London is one of the busiest in the world, and with so much cargo being loaded and unloaded, the odd crate ends up overboard. The ebb and flow of the Thames deposits this lost cargo up and down the riverbank. Under the light of the full moon, the desperate or optimistic pick through the sucking mud of low tide, stinking of shit and rotting fish, in the hope of finding treasure. Paint the scene is everyone, of course. Okay. Let's see. Prompt 2 is going to be... Jim. Prompt 3 is going to be Kim. Prompt 4 is going to be Clint. Okay. That will be our unseen for tonight. All right. And then remember, the reason we're doing the unseen, okay, is because we're going to switch back and forth between unseen and hunter scenes, and you want to try to call upon some thematic or sensory details to kind of pull on and match, like from either or, to pull on the echo in the night, to be able to earn some experience, okay? And again, it could be the same, it could be similar, or it could even be contrasting. I mean, like, you could totally parlay me, like, once we get into dawn questions, okay? So definitely pull on that for sure, okay? First unseen. Paint the scene, and this is for everyone. What debris from industry, trade, or home life is found washed up on the mud banks of the Thames? What does it tell us about the city? And again, feel free and put your answers into the cell so you can remember what to pull on for your particular echoes. What debris, and what does it tell us about the city?
I think the first one we see, it's probably the closest to the dock. I'm not sure how far, probably a few hundred yards. And it's been cracked open, and all we can see inside are a pile of rotted pineapples. The thorns stick out from the side, and you can tell that people have tried to root through and find bits and pieces of it that are probably still citrusy enough to ingest. So it's very much a delicacy in this part, and sadly, this crate did not make it to market.
What else is found?
One thing that we see there kind of washed up on the shore are sodden, grease, grease-caked little paper boats. Workers, the workers in the tannery, kind of on the other side of the bridge, grab some fish and chips on their way out, scarf them, and then they kind of fold them into little boats and then just drop them off the bridge to see which one, makes it under the bridge first. They say 3, 2, 1, and they drop them at the same time. And eventually they sort of float down and just kind of wash up on the shore, utterly forgotten. And that this is kind of one of the things it tells us is that this is kind of the beginning of that sort of trash, that kind of like disposable, food containers and things like that, that are a relatively new thing with this kind of new industrial era in London.
I think in the mud you see a handful of small black shiny objects. And what they are glass buttons. And the reason that they're black and shiny is because they're being made to mimic jet. And it is about the appearance of wealth and people trying to look as though they are more upwardly mobile than they are by simulating jewelry that's usually associated with Queen Victoria or the upper crust.
Lady Ross Carter, you are taking the cab back to the clubhouse of the Bright and Beautiful. And you see several people, walking up, lively, I guess. Different walks of life. I mean, like you see some more middle class folk, as well as what you would consider, theatrical people, perhaps. Like kind of scholars slash, like maybe you would consider them actors. And then some people that may be as well heeled as you, but you can't quite tell, right? And yet, I think from around the corner, you see a grand carriage. You recognize the grand carriage because it has floral motifs and it's in dark mahogany, of course. And it's like, from the window, waving at you with beautiful lace gloves is, "Yoo-hoo, Monday!"
I'm really disappointed in my outfit. Didn't even hide me from her, of all the people. So I walk up next to her and I say, "How did you know it was me?"
You really can't hide your height, dear.
How rude. You'd be one to talk. If you weren't up there in this cab, we could have a tall off.
I'm not that tall. I'm quite... Remember they used to call us the little... What did they say? What was that thing that they used to call us? It was so terrible. The little titbird and the stork. They used to call us that all the time. In school. It was nasty.
Yes. Well, enough of I remember when. What are you doing here?
Well, perhaps I would like to, I don't know, open up my horizons. I'd heard about this Dr. Klauser as well, and maybe I wanted to see what his badinage was all about.
I have a moment where you can kind of see me sitting there like angry that she's here and she's ruining my plan. But then I'm like, wait, I'm flexible. I'm agile. I can improvise. And I turn back to her and I kind of grin and I say, "You know what you should do tonight? You should ask every question that pops into your brain. Really get this guy talking. I want to get her to make a scene if possible so I can snoop unaccosted. That's my inkling of a plan right now."
That sounds like a wonderful idea.
I hear this doctor is quite accomplished in many things. And you may be interested in them. Is she alone right now in this cart? Does she have anyone with her?
One of her wards, Maglasang, is actually up on the box. He's the one driving the carriage. And then next to her, but not quite seen because she's kind of sitting back, is her secretary slash one other ward, Ms. Walton.
Would it make sense for me to know who Miss Walton is, or have I?
You would have recognized her because she is the one that was dressed in the men's clothing that had taken down one of your wrestlers.
Oh yes, yes. So I see her,
But she's well dressed. She's in like a regular gown at the moment.
well, I've tracked that. Okay, and I see her, and I'm like, ah, and I point to her and I say, you should talk to the doctor about his strength training programs. He's got some elixirs and tinctures that can help with that. You know, if you're really serious about wrestling.
I'm serious about all types of training, Lady Ross Carter, as she bows to you. But I do not believe necessarily in the chemical support.
Oh, ethics now. I see. Well, you know, we will all need the edge every once in a while. Hard work only gets us so far. And I look at Pemberton Potts and I'm like, isn't that right? Sometimes you have to cheat your way.
Is that how you did it, dear?
She whispers to you.
And I lean in and I say, pot calling kettles black, dear. And I turn around and I say, the lecture's going to start shortly, and I want to get my preferred seat.
Of course, of course. We'll be over here. Maglason, go ahead and bring the carriage round, and then you can join us, and then we can stay in the back.
Oh, no, you should definitely go up front and ask many questions.
Are you sure? I don't want to, well, commandeer the whole thing. I mean, I'm sure there are other people that have questions, too.
Oh, let the doctor worry about that. I'm sure he can run his own show. And I turn around and I walk towards the door.
Cutting over to Dr. Whitford and Jack. You two are nearing the house. What's the plan? How are you going to lure Patrick?
Well, he thinks he's a boar, right?
That's what you've assumed.
Which is like a hunting beast.
Mm-hmm.
And so I propose that we present him with straggling injured prey that he cannot resist. Dr. Whitford, and I just like hold an arm up and say, if you could just assist me with your scalpel here.
Resignation.
Slit. She slits down my wrist and blood pours out. And
I really should make you do this to yourself.
I'm holding it so that it's not spurting right now. I'm gonna walk over to the walk over to the shop, loudly like lean against the door, groan, it's looking bad, kind of smear blood all along the front of the window, and then just kind of stagger around the building into the alley, and kind of letting it spurt a little every now and then.
So to be clear, you've done this with zero conversation with Elinor.
That's correct. Yes. Yeah. I'm sort of improvising.
Okay.
And
I guess I won't ask what your plan is. And
I'd like to, I'm going to use that being a prey animal to try and draw him out.
Okay. Well, this is definitely a night move. I mean, what do you think will happen if you fail to lose your nerve?
He will snatch me and drag me into the basement before we can lure him out, is my main concern. I want to get him chasing me so we can get him into the open.
Yeah.
What happens when we get him into the open?
I don't know. You hit him with enough laudanum to knock out a African elephant.
It is a plan, but I will say the way it's worse is that Patrick may not be alone. So, may have his brother.
Well, I suppose there's that. That's right. There's a whole family of them, aren't there? Okay, well,
Yes. So, Obert may make it 10 times more dangerous.
Yeah,
Who knows?
yeah.
I mean,
mhm.
that's how it could be worse. Just saying.
Okay.
Let's see. Hold on. Let me check your stuff right now. So, this is definitely composure, because it's like,
I mean, that's what I feel like, is that I'm kind of trying to like walk that line between, oh dear, this is bad, while still maintaining enough of my, senses that I can actually like I want to run from him, but not so fast that I get away. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You've got a sense of a ruse that you're trying to perpetrate, for sure. Harley will speak up from behind you, Dr. Whitford, to say,
Does he mean to do that? Is this on purpose? What's he trying to do?
I'm going to use my mirror that always shows the reflection of the St. James Street ghost.
ooh,
Like, she slit my wrist,
Uh-huh.
and I take a look at my face to see that, like, I wait a few moments for the color to kind of drain from it enough that I look sufficiently exsanguinated that it will pique his interest.
okay. All right.
So
take it
I'm
with
gonna roll that-
advantage.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll that with advantage.
Yep.
Harley, you currently know as much of the plan as I do.
Just tell me if you what you need, Mom.
3d6
Probably to hit
plus
something.
1. There we go. That's a 13.
Okay.
When we take the highest 2 dice.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say.
I rolled a 6, 5, 6. So
I was like, okay, alrighty, 13. Okay.
yeah, I roll a 3 and you're all, ah! I roll an 11 and you're like, yeah, okay, all right. I noticed that.
I'm delighted. I'm delighted.
Look now,
13's
look
getting
now.
no
I'm so.
screenshots. 13's getting no screenshots.
I am taking the screenshots. Don't worry, okay. I just take more joy a little bit.
Yeah,
From
13. All right. Now, let me see what happens.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. We're gonna cut over to the next unseen. Okay, Jim. Two youths come to blows over a case of whiskey with a couple of bottles still intact. As they push and shove in the slimy mud, how do we know this fight is about more than just the find?
We have in our safety tools an ask first under harm to children. My answer here is going to have some implied harm to children. It's going to kind of veil it, and we also don't know. Let's just stipulate that these are like older teenagers that are shoving each other, and not like an 8 and a 10-year-old. Can just before we do that, just so that we're on the same page here.
Perfect for me. Yeah.
Okay. All right. The smaller one viciously claws at the other's face and howls that it's not fair and that he saw it, so he should be the one who hands it over. The larger one clouts him and grips his shoulders, looking him straight in the eye. Shut it. It don't matter which of us gives it to him, just that he gets enough of it to keep him out like a candle all this week. The smaller one struggles a bit before shrugging and nodding, bending to their shared task.
Lady Ross Carter. Yeah, you go in there. What is your preferred seat? Like front, side, where is it?
Thank you for asking. My aim is to sit towards the back, but farthest from the door. So I can be not draw. I won't draw attention if I stand up and walk around mid talk.
Do you still have the veil drawn kind of like over
I
your
do.
face? Okay.
I do.
Alrighty. All right, great. Mrs. Pemberton Potts will take your suggestion and like kind of sit nearer to the front. I think like Eugene is there and kind of like nodding over at you, but greeting the members that he does recognize. Seems to show Pemberton Potts a little bit of deference because she's like all eager, and then she's just like kind of chattering away as she normally does at him. And Laurel Walton is her very loyal shadow. He kind of shows her to like a seat that's like near to the front of where Dr. Klauser will speak. And so Yeah, I mean, like, you have your preferred seat, and then you'll see, like, some of the other people, like, kind of gather in, like, around and near you, but then, like, kind of, it's like a weird semicircle horseshoe kind of setup,
Okay.
So that's what you end up seeing here.
I think I make eye contact with the guy I saw earlier today who was asking me about funding,
Oh,
etc.
yes, Eugene. Yeah.
And he starts to talk to me, but I don't want any attention drawn to me. So I go
He'll
like
nod.
over the veil. So
Yeah.
just move along.
Yeah. He'll nod, and then he'll start greeting, like, some of the other people, like he knows, all the other members and such. And then, like, kind of show them to their seats. And like I said, I mean, like, he's already shown Pemberton Potts to, one of the seats near to the front of the horseshoe. Maybe from your vantage point, as you see the people gather, you see someone. You can't see their face necessarily because they're, like, a little bit further away from you, like probably on the opposite side of the salon. They're sitting on one of the couches, but they seem to be overcome by the knowledge that absolute freedom is within their reach, but yet ever elusive. That, like, yearning look on their face. And, like, you see that kind of look on other people's faces dotted around the room as well, as you kind of take a gaze around.
Have we sat down, or
Oh yeah,
am I
no,
still okay? Okay.
no, you're all, you've all been, like, sat
Okay.
down as you've been, like, entering in, for sure. Once everybody comes in, before because everybody's chattering, like, pretty freely with each other, and then you hear, like, smatterings of words of, like, and like, freedom, and oh yes, it's like, felt like all my pain has just been melted away. And then, like, other people are talking about, like, like what they've seen, and, like, about the blue and azure, whatever. But then a hush comes over, and you don't even know, like, all of a sudden, like, where it's coming from. But then, like, through the side door, one of the side doors, you see a distinguished looking man, quite tall like you, in a three-piece suit. And he is very well trimmed beard, mustache, and, like, it's very well shaped, right? It's got a particular shape to them, and then, like, he's got beautiful sideburns and maybe tufts of hair, like, around his ears and around his pate, like pince nez or something like that, right? And he just seems to command the room even before he speaks. And he's just looking around with piercing blue eyes at everyone. I welcome you all to this talk. I appreciate your attention this evening. For those of you that do not already know me, and he looks straight at Mrs. Pemberton Potts in the front, along with Laurel. For those of you that do not know me already, I am Dr. Klauser. And then he starts to, go on with his talk. He has a lot of esoteric things to say, what have you. And maybe, like, every so often, like, she goes on to ask a question, because he starts mentioning things about what does this mean in terms of, freedom and freedom from pain, and their past regrets, and, like, whatever's holding them back. I mean, like, very self-helpy type stuff, right? And then she's, like, immediately, like, bringing up her hand for questions and such. What do you want to do in this moment? Like, as she's asking some questions.
Well, as this conversation happens and gets going, I'm going to stand up and I want to slowly circle the room again, and I want to look closer at these people who are having all these pain-free emotions.
Okay.
So I think I kind of stand up and I walk over, and maybe I fake that I'm looking at the art, but I've already looked at all that earlier today.
Yeah.
And I go over to one of the people, and I lean in, because maybe they're muttering something slowly under their breath, and I, like, perhaps I, like, pat them on their face or something like that and try to converse with them a little bit. I give them like nice little words of encouragement. If they say they feel free, I say, yes, yes, you are. And I'm just trying to comfort them quietly, oh so quietly, as to not disrupt the conversation that's happening in the lecture.
Right. You hear her mutter something like, "My art has been transformed. Thanks to the doctor."
What kind of transformation would you describe that as?
It was so painful. Shedding that past was so painful and cost me everything. But it was worth it. So
where were you before this?
As you ask her, she turns some eyes to you. And she's just like so calm. Her face just kind of like turns to you so slowly and deliberately. And she just kind of turns to you with these eyes that just stare at you. And she's kind of frail looking. Go ahead and make a...
Information move?
Yes.
With presence, I feel.
I mean, if you're trying to, like kind of...
I'm trying to reassure her that I'm worthy of being talked with.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll just roll.
Okay.
Regular +1. I'll use the dice roller. I got a 10.
Nice.
I think we even see, like, as she looks at me, I just kind of, like, place my hand on her cheek just to kind of help support her as I say, go ahead and answer my question. Where were you before this?
All right, and I'm going to, actually, before I get to Jack and resolving Jack and Dr. Whitford's move on that, especially because Jack rolled so damn well, I'm going to say we're going to take a 10-minute break since we've hit like that great point. So, okay, so Jack, please tell me how this looks when you lure Patrick out and get him out into the open.
Like, I think it's, like if we were watching the show, we'd see me stagger into the alley moaning, and doing that thing where, like, if you've ever seen the movie Desperado, there's a thing where Antonio Banderas he's gotten shot up. He's like sliding along a wall, leaning, and there's just like this line of blood that goes along. Like, it's that kind of thing, right? From the alley, we hear Jack say, "Oh, hello there." Whatever, some laugh or giggle or something like that, or is this the so you want to play Fig that we're
No, that's Obert.
That's Obert. Okay, all right. And so
this is the one that just makes animal noises.
Yeah, okay, all right. And so there's like some huffing and grunting and stuff like that. There is Jack staggering out of the alley. At one point he like slips and falls to his knees to make sure the Fig is like almost on top of him, and then he scrambles up and and then he's booking it, got the scent, he's the blood, and he's charging after me with his cleaver or big boning knife or whatever it is that that he wields, and we like run right out of the alley, right out into the street, him right on my heels, right into where Dr. Whitford and her erstwhile assistant are waiting. Like I think probably what happens is I run into a street light and then kind of like act like I'm disoriented and I'm kind of there clutching it, sort of bloodily, sort of sliding down it on it. And now he's got me, so he's stalking up slowly on me to to do me in.
He doesn't have anything in his hands, right? Because I mean, he's
he's probably just going to take a direct bite out of me, isn't he? Yeah.
Well, right, because I mean, he's kind of like he's looking like he's kind of like pawing at the ground, like as if he's got hooves instead of like actual hands and feet, and like he's just kind of like snuffling at you, and then like he's like he's got his jaw out like as if he's got tusks and everything, like, and he's just like looking pretty menacing, but you see, kind of like in his eyes, like they just look, while his face looks menacing, like it's dirty, it's just like it's big, like he's just looking like very big. You can see in his eyes like there's a tiny bit of fear, And then he's approaching you, and Dr. Whitford, you and Harley see this from your hiding spot. So you may be like off to the side or slightly behind Patrick as he's advancing upon Jack. What would you two like to do?
I think I'll request Harley, could you hit the man that's chasing Jack very hard?
I'll give it a shot, Mom. Never actually had to deal with beasts before. I mean, like, I usually deal with dead bodies. Yeah, so you get to roll. For in this case, it's going to be composure.
Okay.
And with advantage.
Right.
Since Harley's doing this on your behalf.
Excellent. So that will be, I'm going to do the math after I roll and figure that out. Okay, it's a 9.
All right, so with a 9, Harley makes the approach, and he's like, got his like, grip on his shovel, and he's advancing, and he's trying to be as quiet as possible. But I think, like as Patrick is like, making his snuffling advance to Jack, I think he drops something, and then you see it. You take a quick spot on it, Dr. Whitford, and you recognize it as something that, why does Patrick have this? Because you recognize it as something that would be more appropriate for Sir Philip Brookmead to have. And as he notices he drops it, he sees out of the corner of his eye, he sees Harley there. And he will take his attention off of Jack and then, like, start to run. He will actually duck away from Harley and Jack and try to get away. For sure.
So is that I'm sorry, was that a miss or a hit?
It is trying to think of how to interpret this. So, complication.
Like if he beans him, but it's a glancing blow, and you have to, you know.
There we go. Yeah,
like I got to jump on him to keep him down or something like that. Then that's cool,
that makes more sense. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that.
Like if he whiffed, that would be one thing. But it feels like
Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay, that's fine. If he completely missed it, then then he would run. But yeah, I would say that this is more of a glancing blow, so it's a little bit more complicated. I mean, you could still get him, but yeah, I mean, like he ended up seeing Harley and got like moved away a little bit like in time. So yeah, I mean, like, Jack, you can get in on this and then try to corral him. Dr. Whitford, you do see that thing that Patrick dropped. What is the thing that's recognizable that you would know is something that belongs to Sir Philip Brookmead, who, I remind you, is the first victim, the victim in the little Blackbird case?
Something expeditionary, but I'm not.
I mean, if you want time to think about it, that's fine. I can go over to Lady Ross Carter. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, that's not a problem. All right. So, for your information move, you got a 10. Let's see what you got here. What was your question again, Lady Ross Carter?
I was trying to find information about where this woman came from. Like, what brought her to this doctor?
Gotcha.
What is this pain that's so bad that brought her to this place?
She'll kind of like look at you, but not at you. You know what I mean? Like kind of like that distant 1,000-yard
through you.
Yeah, through you, right? And she starts telling you, he was a model, a painting I had done of this beautiful person. It's beautiful. Hyacinth, so ethereal looking. She had bright blue eyes, and I'd painted her. She was just so beautiful. And the doctor talked with me and let me know I had to let her go. It was just not The pain of our friendship just could not stand. She's like, talking about this. She's kind of like making the motions as if she's painting this thing. And the clue is a painting showing an ethereal looking figure with bright blue eyes that seem a bit too realistic.
Excellent.
Yep.
So, Mads, I'm also going to mark the moss-covered gate to bump this up to a 12 plus for
Awesome.
Mastermind clue.
Excellent.
My moss-covered gate says you receive a significant inheritance from a recently deceased relative. I'll come up with that later.
Yeah.
Who were they? What was your favorite memory of them? But more importantly, it says unmark 2 checkboxes from the Royal Explorers Club.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. Is that the new rules on the Explorers Club? Did that change any? Do you know?
I could not tell you.
I'd have to pull that up for the Explorer. I hadn't looked at it to see what the differences was.
Yeah, I didn't study the pre-Explorer, so I don't know.
We'll double check in a minute, but let me give you a since she's right here.
Exactly. I felt like this would be a good opportunity.
Yeah, no, this is great. This is a great opportunity for sure. Because she had mentioned the thing about the relationship and letting go. Because you've talked with Victoria herself. You've known stuff. You've had your cozy talks and stuff over tea with the Queen herself and such. I think this kind of sparks a memory as you look at the back of Pemberton Potts as she's like, getting all excited and everything like this. I think you remember this particular memory of a conversation that Victoria had with you. This takes you back to a drawing room conversation over tea that you had with Victoria herself. Don't mind the clue looking the way it does, but this is a memory for you. She remembers you remember her telling you about a letter she was going to write to Sir Thomas, entreating him to reconsider the wisdom of marrying one such as Rose Lytton Pemberton Potts. She didn't necessarily give you the reasons why. You suspected, of course, like your own reasoning, but yeah, she was saying to you that she was going to write this letter to Sir Thomas himself.
Excellent.
Yep.
So I think I kind of place my hand again on this poor lady's face and I say, "Thank you, dear." And I kind of lay her back down on the couch nice and gently. And I return to my seat.
Just kind of she's looking, towards Dr. Klauser and like in her mind rejoining the conversation or just rejoining the talk, and then just kind of like paying attention to his words, like, whatever he's saying at the moment. Pemberton Potts is asking a surprisingly intelligent question about like one of his particular theories of letting go of regret. Yeah, and then like he's answering her in the same fashion, and it looks like Laurel Walton is taking notes. She's pulled out a notepad and then she's taking notes on this.
And it makes sense. While
yeah, go ahead.
While Pemberton Potts, she may be up to something. She is no dummy, so her asking good questions is right on par.
Are you admiring of your friend, or are you kind of like
I'm impressed. If we want to call that admiration, then maybe
begrudging admiration?
Yeah, I would never say admire. I am impressed.
It's
perhaps
credit where it's due.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's
that is your. I mean, like, I know it's like it's not worthy of a condition, but I feel like it kind of suits the mood.
Oh, I'm happy to take that condition.
Yeah, credit where it's due.
Yeah, I love it. Get a condition on a 12 plus. Sign me up.
It just seems fitting at the moment because of the way it's the way
totally.
It is. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so unseen. Kim. An older woman picks through the mud. Lost in her own world, she does not seem to focus on items of monetary value. What do we see her collect?
You see a old woman sort of tottering down the thing, and she's humming sort of tunelessly to herself. If you listen hard enough, you can tell it's kind of a lullaby. And she's picking up things, she's looking at them, she's discarding them. And what she's looking for is very small pieces of toys. She's found like a jack, she's found what looks like maybe a wheel, and she's cut herself. Like she doesn't seem to notice that she's cut herself, but she's definitely bleeding a little bit. And the last thing you see her pick up is like a very small, maybe like a quarter of a doll's face with a single very bright blue eye.
Nice. All right. So going back to what we see there. So, Dr. Whitford, you see what Patrick has dropped. If you know what it is, great. If you don't, then we're just gonna just head to Jack for half a mo, and then say, Jack. I mean, like, looks like Harley almost got him. Glancing blow, like you said, and he's going to get away, but I mean, like, he kind of took a blow to the shoulder.
And I say, damn it, Harley, and I surge to my feet. I'm gonna throw my arms around Figg and say, just hit us both as hard as you can and don't stop until we're both down. And I'm just going to keep him from getting away so that Harley can just do one of those kind of things.
I know you're supposed to, but goddamn, sorry. It's great. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to tangle myself up in him as much as I can to give Harley a stationary target.
Sure.
Just let him wail away.
Okay. Jack, night move, please. Again. Yeah. What do you think will go wrong if you fail or lose your nerve?
The worst scenario is that I will get the worst of the beating and it will simply enrage Figg.
Yes.
Who may hurl me back, but like that this will just provoke him rather than take him down.
Sure, exactly. You got him cornered, you got him down, and
he's slightly disoriented from that glancing blow, probably, and just
he's going to be pissed now because it's like, once you got him cornered, he's not going to appreciate this at all. Just saying. Mm-hmm. I think how it's worse is, I'm just going to bring it in again. I mean, if he bellows hard enough because of the blows, he's going to call upon his brother. Like his brother's going to come. Yeah, okay. His brother's going to come running. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So for sure. All right. So please roll with. Yeah,
this feels like straight up
vitality.
Vitality, pretty
straight
much.
Up.
Yeah. I don't feel like any of my quarters items really great here. So I'm gonna just roll this and see what happens because I got masks I can use if I need them.
Yeah.
Boom. But that's 5 and 4 plus 1 gets me to 10.
Yep. Okay. So that is a 10. Yeah, so I mean, basically you've clutched him in, and Harley is pretty much just beating on you both. I think he's just kind of doing the side way, the side swaps, because it's the way to make sure that he doesn't accidentally whiff on the headshots,
sure.
Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he's just whapping you both on
body
the side.
Blows and stuff.
Body blows, definitely body blows with his shovel.
And I think we can establish that I can get broken ribs and contusions and stuff like this, but I probably heal quickly enough that it doesn't amount to having to mark a condition, but I still get, I think, beat up.
Oh, yeah.
And it takes a few seconds, it takes a little while for me to knit back up, but the point is that we got that this is going to knock him out, which is, the mission accomplished.
Right. I mean, so the goal is just to make sure that he's knocked out and captured.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Great.
Yep. So yeah, and if we're both kind of lying there in a groaning, semi-conscious heap, and they got to kind of pry us apart, that's totally fine as long as Figg gets taken down.
Yeah, and I think Harley's just kind of panting and just heaving himself because he's tired from just trying to make sure to bring him down because compared to you, Patrick is kind of brutish.
Mm-hmm.
Brutish sized,
oh, yeah. Yep.
To be a boar man, that kind of thing. But
and I kind of groan at him. Doesn't matter. As long as he's out for a week, doesn't matter which of us did it.
But your hand, sir, I'm so sorry.
You look like you've Don't be sorry. He owes you a drink for this.
If you're sure, Mum, but I mean, look at his hands. Oh, gods.
No offense, old man, but I've had worse.
Oh,
Zach, what have we said about traumatizing my associates? I think
he's
don't.
leaning against a shovel like he can't believe what he did, you know? And you're like showing off your purple bruising and all this kind of stuff. Oh gods. Okay. Heading back to Lady Ross Carter. Lady Ross Carter.
Mads,
Yes.
if I may, I
Well.
think I'm watching her ask really good questions. I can't let her be the only one asking really good questions.
Okay.
I think my competitiveness
Okay.
gets the better of me right now, and I'm gonna try to ask equally as compelling questions so that the doctor's attention isn't just on her. So my idea to hide from this doctor is being subverted by my desire to one up Peppermint.
Yeah, because I mean, like, you know, if to do this, there's a danger that he's going to recognize you as a
Right.
former patient.
But I'm not asking just random questions. I am confronting him.
Okay.
Can you remind me, like, what was the last question she was asking him?
She was asking a very intelligent question about letting go of regrets, past regrets.
So I think I raise my hand and I say, Doctor, what do you think the best cure for regrets would be? Is that even something that medicine can alleviate?
He will pause to consider your question very seriously. He takes on a very somber aspect as he kind of folds his arms and like kind of considers this, and he kind of paces a little bit as he thinks, and everybody's kind of like doing the tennis match head, like kind of back and forth watching him. Yep. And then like he just kind of stops and then like looks at you and says, in a very specific consideration, medicine as medicine is not the cure for regret. Regret is more of a signpost for the body to heal and not follow the same pattern that caused pain to begin with.
So do you think drugs are the answer? If the body is calling out for healing, yes, I could see drugs being possibly the case, but regret, that is an emotional scar.
Correct.
And like I keep looking over at my friend there to see if she's trying to stew up her own questions in response to mine.
She seems to be listening. Like you only see her back, right? And then like she still has her quite flowered hat with the drapey veils on top of it. And you only see her back, and she seems to be, even though she's quite tiny in comparison, she seems to be sitting quite straight as if she's in listening mode now. Like her posture is more of like an inquisitive bird. She does not turn to look at you, but you can tell she's quite intent upon the byplay between you two.
So I think I go on and I notice that she's, intent. And I continue to ask the doctor, I was like, have you ever seen a tree that's been cut down, doctor?
A tree?
Yes, and you really study it. I'm not talking about looking at the rings or the leaves, just like the sap slowly dripping down like tears. Do you think trees and plants feel the same as us? Again, I look over at Pemberton Potts. Would you treat humans as trees?
It is quite the analogy that you make there. One could say that the sap is like the tree's blood, but, I mean, we would not necessarily treat trees like people.
It is like considering apples, and he kind of like, gestures with a hand as if he has one, versus oranges. Two very different things.
And I kind of just shift the conversation rather abruptly. And I say, I'm sorry, I never got a playbill or a program for tonight. So I'm curious, where did you study? Where did you get your training? And what makes you qualified to speak on such things?
I have studied in the finest universities back in Germany. I have studied under those quite knowledgeable in these matters. And he goes on about therapy, like hypnotherapy, and that's like all the kind of things, for this kind of stuff. Making the appropriate, like, scientific sounding things, but they're like, quite empty in their words. But everybody else is kind of like just nodding. Pemberton Potts and Laurel are not doing that. Laurel's taking notes, and Pemberton Potts is still like in that listening pose that she has.
Is there a way for me to make perhaps a night move to kind of win this sparring question on and off over, to slightly humiliate this guy just a little bit, just to stump him, not to make him cry or anything, but just to kind of show him that he has no power over me.
So you want to do a verbal takedown, basically?
Yeah.
Okay, so to do the verbal takedown night move, what do you think will happen if you fail or lose your nerve?
He will know who I am and use it against me.
Do you want to call that, just for say it, like, I think this is kind of more composure.
It's composure for sure, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like you're trying to do this, again, via ruse. Let's see, to make it worse.
I mean, there's an audience, right, that can turn on her?
Yeah.
Isn't that the case? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that basically he's going to use his influence and then, have them, through his influence, basically come to his defense. That's how it's worse.
Excellent.
I mean, because he'll start by not only discrediting you, but then they'll pile in, to help him out.
I'm going to mark my stack of sealed marriage proposals.
Ooh.
And during this conversation, I dropped the name of someone who he had proposed to for marriage, who sent him a no thanks written letter. They didn't even want to say it to his face. So I say, oh, perhaps it's the same as Lady Emily when she turned you down. Just kind of just drive that in a little bit.
How did you treat your own regret, Doctor?
Yes,
that's terrible. Exactly. Oh my God. Okay, yeah. So totally. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see. Give me seconds. I think I still do want to pull like Most Beloved to slash that advantage though. Okay. So you're just rolling straight.
Okay.
Just because it's like you're just piling in.
Better than disadvantage. Here we go.
Correct.
And it's a 5. Thank you very much.
So what? Oh dear. Okay.
Oh dear.
So yeah, I think like as you're trying to pull on this thing and then like making him pull on this particular regret, I think he's going to smile and say, "Ah, Lady Ross Carter. Ah, I should have recognized you. I did mention this as a rapport between us."
I stand up and I take my veil off and I'm like, yeah, you are correct. Congratulations. You found me out. And I just kind of mock him for his discovery.
I think, some of the attendants there, some of the participants are just going to turn to you with their shining eyes and then just like, start in on you and saying, "How can you pull on this, on the doctor and belabor his emotional tie
was broken when you were obviously seeing him at one point and experienced pain on your own. Perhaps you are still experiencing pain and not admitting it. You probably need to be here more than any of us. And then, they start piling in.
Yeah, so I do experience pain, and I will admit it, and his techniques did not work. Ask me how much pain I'm in. A lot. I wake up every day in pain.
Your body is probably just resistant because your mind is not open and free. You have not followed the doctor's tenets or teachings. And they start piling in on and just giving it roundabout right back, and just it almost feels like they start crawl from where they are, from their couches, and they start to converge upon you. That's the feeling you get. As the doctor is smiling right from where he's standing, everybody else is piling in, and Pemberton Potts and Laurel are not looking at you. And then, they just get lost because everybody else has just started to stand up and start to move to your position and surround you with, all their recriminations and all this kind of, how dare you, da-da-da-da-da. So we can still run with this, and you get a condition. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, and that's where they, you can either, stick it out and take their shit.
Yeah, I'm just going to argue with them. I'm like, I'm in pain. I'm 86. I just kind of lay into it, but as they hit me with more and more, I just become exhausted. Yeah. Till I have to kind of turn around and just get mad and angry and just probably throw a little mini temper tantrum and just storm out the door.
I mean, you've already seen that by the time that you leave. I think you've seen that Pemberton Potts's seat is empty. It looks like she and Laurel have left. And then Dr. Klauser will kind of give you a sorrowful look from where he's standing, and will say to you as you huff out, "My office door is always open to you, Lady Roscarta. Please, come and see me again."
Suck eggs. And I walk out.
Amazing. So, I think your condition is... Oh man, what is your condition? God dang it.
I mean, I think I've just never been more embarrassed.
Yeah, I mean...
Because it's not an actual physical pain. I live with that every day. It's just the...
this is definitely...
Yeah.
Embarrassed is just the easiest way to put it, because God, yeah. Yeah. Goodness. Put upon and embarrassed. Yeah.
Yep. Ooh, put upon. I like that.
Yeah. You could put that instead if you like.
Put upon and embarrassed.
Yeah. All right. So back to the unseen, final unseen. Clint. Several bedraggled children poke a bloated corpse with sticks. Those who do not double over retching rifle through the waterlogged effects. What last traces of this person's life or death do they run off with?
We see two boys around the age of 13 slowly approach yet another body. They walk up to it as if it's just a normal day's work, and as they start to rifle through the dead man's pocket, he reaches forward and his body pops right up, and he lets out a big gasp of air, and he makes eye contact with the kids, and he grabs them by their arms and pulls them forward, and one of them, in total fright, just starts to wail on the guy, and he drops back and lets go of them, and they stand up and run, and realizing they just dropped everything that they had taken out of his pocket, except for a little letter addressed to, quote, "My dear son."
Yeah, Patrick is unconscious, and Harley is just trying to, he's patting his head with his dirty kerchief, completely overwhelmed by the fact he had to beat up Jack to do it. Begging your pardon, miss. Doctor, sorry. What would you like me to do? I mean, where do we take this brute?
Honestly, Harley, I'm tempted to wait for Jack to wake up and find out what his plan was. Um,
Yeah,
Prince,
and I kind of sit up and I'm like, oh, that's yes, I'll feel that in the morning. Well done, Harley. Capital job.
You're
That's
right,
a
sir.
and and I kind of hold out a hand so that he can help me up.
And he does. It's like, grabs you and takes you with a gnarled hand and completely hauls you
And I
up.
kind of hold out my hand for the shovel.
Why, sir?
you don't want to ask, Harley.
And I say, you've done enough this evening.
And he will, as
And
he hands it to you,
yes,
he
yeah,
turns away.
yep. I say, Doctor, I'll do my best to leave something intact for you, and just bam, 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 just smash his head in with the shovel.
Harley will turn to you, Dr. Whitford, and say, begging your pardon, Mum. Not that I have any personal objection, of course, if it's all right, to look amongst the soon-to-be deceased's effects, but I thought we were going to capture him instead.
So did I, Harley. So did I.
Scotland Yard wants nothing to do with this. There.
Squelch, squelch, just yeah.
This is not a man. This is a creature. He was suffering in life, and in death, he can get some rest. This is not a thing that could be allowed to live and stalk the streets of the city. Would you like a city that your children walk around with this thing lurking in it, my friend?
You're right, sir. You're right. It's
Two
just...
of his siblings are still at large.
You mean Mom and Sib?
Sorry. Two of his relatives are still at large, I say.
You're right, sir. You're right.
This reduces by 1/3 the number of people that are going to go, the number of our fellow citizens that might end up in a pie.
Oh, what a shame. Them's good
Now,
pies.
if you'll help me load him into the carriage, we can bring him back for Dr. Whitford to harvest anything that might be useful.
Begging your pardon, sir. Carriage, no. Cart, yes. And
I shrug. Sure. Yeah. I say I will defer to your expertise in this matter, my friend.
And then he'll kind of nod, and then
Yep. And we just kind of.
yeah. And then he'll kind of get the shovel back from you, and then kind of swing it round and look. Yeah.
He definitely owes you. I realize your shovel has seen much worse, Harley, but I believe Jack owes you a new shovel.
I will acquire for you, sir, a spade the likes of which you have never laid eyes on before. I'm sure the Lady Ross Carter can recommend a very fine hardware establishment to me.
As long as it is not as dented as this one, sir.
Oh, it will be brand new, I can assure you. You have given good service this evening, and it's the least I can do.
Appreciated. Thank you.
A man is only as good as his tools.
And he will hop up on the box of the cart, and then he'll have a hand out to Dr. Whitford. Unfortunately, Jack, you're going to have to stay in the back of the cart with the...
Yeah, that's okay. Sort of sit on the edge. I've got a cigarette to, because it probably doesn't smell great back here either.
Right.
I'm just gonna kind of smoke and groan and hold my head as we head back to our grave house.
Okay, alrighty. And then I think as you leave Lady Ross Carter, the premises of the clubhouse, do you walk, or do you end up taking the carriage as usual?
I think I'm so embarrassed, well, put upon and embarrassed, that since if my cab is right out front, I will get in it. If I have to take a moment to look, I will just keep right on walking.
Yeah, I think you had them kind of go off to the off to
So
the
no,
side.
I just adamantly just start hoofing it back. Maybe I'm going the right direction. I'm not quite sure.
You're not sure if you're going directly back to Hargrave House?
That I'm going the correct direction.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Falling into step with you, although she has to take like 2 steps to your 1 because she's that short. I think you will see a familiar flowered hat fall into somewhat step with you.
Are you all right, Mundy?
Say, Rose, I'm not in the mood.
I'm not here to cause
To
you.
what?
I'm not here to cause you any more distress in any way. I just wanted to know if you were all right.
I stop dead in my tracks and I turn around and I get really close to her and I'm just like looking straight down at her.
Mm-hmm. She's looking right up at you.
And I say, why are you back in town all of a sudden? How come I keep running into you? It's been years and all of a sudden it's like every day there you are.
Well, I am your neighbor. I'm just down the street in Belgrave.
Has she always been there? Like, this is Clint asking. Or is this a newer thing? This may be something that I missed along the way.
Yeah, I mean, like, you may not have been even curious about your neighbors on Belgrave Square. I mean,
tracks.
But yeah, and then she's been away until recently.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so yeah. So just like why are you back? Why now? What brought you back? Because apparently you just are following me. And trust me, while this may be hard to believe, I may not be that interesting.
If you truly do not want to enjoy each other's company, then just say so. But I felt as if I owed you, from our long association from childhood, to at least make an effort to keep in touch, as it has been some time since we have last, been well met.
I think Lady Ross Carter just takes a deep breath, slowly exhales it, and she says, well, perhaps we should find some time to sit and hash this out.
You are always welcome to come over to my home and have some tea.
Is that a formal invitation?
If you would like, I could put it on some stationery, on a gilded card.
Yes, please. And send it directly over to the house. Jack is usually the first to answer the door.
Of course. Take care of yourself, Mundy. It will always be right as rain.
As I see you, I'm guessing you turn.
Yes, I mean, like, she'll kind of like, turn off, and if you do kind of like take a glance, a slight glance back, I mean, she'll just be standing there, kind of like just watching you.
So I take a couple of steps forward and then I stop, and then I look up and we see a shot of me looking up, and the street is very long and very dark, and I say, care to give me a ride? I seem to have lost my cab.
Of course.
And then it's like her cab's like her big carriage is like just around the corner.
Yeah.
And like you see like Laurel sitting there in the the opposite seat from where she would normally sit. It's like,
by all means.
Thank you.
And then Maglasang will hop off of the box and like open the door for both of you.
After you.
She gets in.
And that is night phase. So let's see. We hit dawn. No threat was resolved. I mean, like, yeah, one threat was resolved, but I mean, like, you still have two more Fig members to go before it's completely done.
Part 1, yeah.
Yep. Answer dawn questions. So let's head over there. So unfortunately, our American did not get a chance to be in the previous cycle, so We're not going to be able to do any dawn questions with theirs. But let's start with Lady Ross Carter. You answered a question. Yes. Did you resolve a threat? No. Did you experience an echo in the night?
I did. I did too. I did. I'm sorry. I don't know if you can hear my dogs snoring.
No.
But the hands over the eyes, which was a much subtler version than what Jim had narrated. And also
everything everyone says is going to be a subtler version of what I said. So just take that as read. I think that's
and the locking eyes back and forth. With the lady on the couch and the boys and the half dead guy.
Nice. Okay, great. Okay, so take that point. Yep. Did you leverage your social status to gain the upper hand?
I did. I marked that last session.
Okay.
And I really am struggling to remember what situation it was. I believe. Oh no, I remember
it. It's when you made the dude sit on the floor.
When I made the guy sit on the floor.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Right as I said, I don't remember it. It popped back in.
We remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the delivering a chilling dead-eyed monologue about the horrors. I was kind of leaning into that with like the tree, as well as the analogy with the tree, as well as like talking with the girl on the couch. I didn't really monologue as much. I may need to stop picking this one, but I'll let y'all decide.
Oh, see, I thought when you were talking about like I'm 80, I wake up in pain every day. This is what it's like to get
That's
old.
perfectly
you kids
fine.
have no idea what's in store for you. Like I thought that was your the horrors of the world, like the mundane horrors of the world.
Totally take it. Yeah.
Right. I get up to pee 4 times a night. Yeah.
You want me on that wall? You need me on that wall.
Exactly. But I mean, like again, if you think you did it, you probably did. You know.
Yeah.
So. Take those points, okay? Add them to your advancement track. If you had earned an advancement, of course, just go ahead and
copy that.
Mark unused unless you know what you're going to take. And then clear your dawn questions and change your elective dawn questions if you so choose. Dr. Whitford. Hunters answered a question. Yes. Hunters did not resolve a threat. Did you experience an echo in the night?
Yes, azure eyes.
Yes.
The doll had blue eyes.
I know. I noticed that one right away. That was awesome. Did you secretly engage in romantic or emotional behavior at odds with your aloof, logical exterior?
I don't think so. I don't think I had that much connection. You're making a face.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to think because, I mean, like, didn't you do that with the vulnerable scene, like, last cycle? Like, last session? I thought you did, like during the day.
I didn't rewatch last session if it was up yet, so I haven't. But that sounds familiar, so I'm going to say yes. Whatever you're remembering, yes.
Yeah. I mean,
I was intending to muck around in Patrick's innards, but did not get. That was not the right order of events, so I don't think I put my hands in anyone's guts yet.
I'm sorry. It's like, if you want to ever, okay, so just to first say, if you know that you want to have a payoff for any of the dawn questions and it kind of doesn't quite fit in a particular phase, but it's kind of like a transition into said phase, like out of night into dawn or whatever, just tell me and then I will allow you to narrate something where you can totally do that. I'm okay with this. This is fine. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't think of when to put it in, but after we get Jack, after we all get back to Hargrave House and we get Harley drunk, I would love to try to get a piece, and I would love to just sort of muck around in his innards and see if there's any boredness in his body in general.
Sure. I mean, like, once we resolve, like, your playbook move, like, then you definitely still get a part. No worries. Okay. Cool. So you take those points, put them to your advancement track, and then go ahead and clear your dawn question check marks, and then change your elective dawn questions if you so choose. Okay? Jack.
Yeah.
Answered a question. Did not resolve a threat.
Nope.
Did you experience an echo in the night?
I told Harley it didn't matter which of us, took him out, as long as Figg was out like a candle, which kind of reflected the thing that, with the kids, basically clearly needing to bring that liquor back to get somebody drunk so that they would not hassle them. Yeah.
That works. Did you admit that modernity has its advantages?
I marveled that I could get a hold of a pineapple after
Yes.
so many years. That
And
this city, that despite the fact that they are, the nearest place they're grown is halfway around the world, somehow they find their way to the docks in London, and that is a modern marvel.
Yep.
Uh,
and McGarrity's like, hold your horses, Jack.
You've waited 100 years. You can wait another week.
She
So,
doesn't take you seriously, right?
Delightful. Yes. Yeah. I'm not having it any other way.
Did you express envy for those lucky enough to feel the sweet release of death?
Yeah, that Fig brother who I brained and put out of his misery. He is no longer suffering from being, an insane homicidal maniac, and whatever that family did to him to make him into that, he no longer has to deal with that. So,
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Add those points to your advancement track, clear your dawn questions, and then change your elective dawn questions if you so choose. All right. Okay, and then again, if you don't know what your advancement that you want is yet, if you've earned one, go ahead and hit the unused advancement checkbox until you figure it out. Great. I can speak tonight. It's all good. Great.
Words are hard sometimes.
They are.
It's okay.
They really are. Okay. Resolve any playbook or special moves that are resolved during dawn phase. So, Doctor, which part did you get?
Let's see what I have memory on tap for. We'll go for eyes.
Okay. All right. And then, of course, you would...
They should be blue eyes.
Okay. Do you have that memory?
Do you like my pleasant memory now?
Yes.
I think it is Dell trying to teach Elinor how to pat her eyelashes, basically, like make her eyes big and wide, and how to sort of get along in society as a woman. And there are two of them side by side in the mirror, and Dell is making faces and Elinor is trying to copy and completely failing, but it's sort of a how to person lesson.
That's adorable. So go ahead and check off eyes for your child, for sure. At some point, Clint, out of character, like if you do want to pull off the Gareth Kellogg move, like, to have a second night phase, just let me know ahead of time so this way I can...
I was going to actually remind everyone that if we answered the questions for the two figs, we could resolve them both, and that would be a fun.
Well, yeah, that would be badass. Yeah,
okay.
that'd be cool.
Yeah. That would be totally badass.
Yeah, I was actually totally just reading that right before you said that, Mad. So
okay.
Sweet. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely like give me a heads up though, because it's like, then we can just make sure that we're prepared to do a second.
I feel like that's the kind of move that everyone has to kind of buy into it, because you're kind of going back into a really dangerous position without having able to clear conditions. So.
Exactly, and you got to be able to be prepared to into danger for sure. And then also too that I'm more aware of being able to make sure that I blow through, like show the pressure of the first night phase for sure. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. So that is the dawn phase. Okay. So we are hitting the new day phase, but before we do that, let's take a 5-minute break. Okay. So we're retconning one particular thing where Dr. Whitford did spot something that Patrick Figg dropped. We're retconning the fact that she grabbed it, like after the scuffle and all this kind of stuff. What did you find, Dr. Whitford?
I found a flask with a monogram I suspect was Sir Patrick's.
Was Sir Philip?
Sir Philip's. Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, and you can, like I said, offline, you can always confirm that with your gal pal, like Lady Brookmead. So that is perfectly fine. So let's see. Let me put that in as a clue. Give me a second. Okay, so this is a clue, but I should also add that it is something that you can add to your personal quarters. So if you want to put that in your personal quarters as a Brookmead monogrammed flask, go for it, Dr. Whitford.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So, you had raised your question by virtue of doing the Mask of Catharsis. If you would like to do it now, the beginning of before the beginning of day phase, you totally can. If you don't have it ready, we can totally do it at the top of next session. What do you think? Mask of
Top of
Colors.
next session for me.
Okay.
I think like my idea is I can do it now, but I'd like to flesh it out.
Yeah, no, I think doing the masks at the beginning of a session is kind of neat because it's like it always adds to a nice prologue. So, and then this will give also like, you know, I'll warn Mike that Rose needs one too. Okay? So, for everyone. Mask of Catharsis for everyone for next time. Okay. Fantastic. And I think Lady Ross Carter owes the moss-covered gate at some point.
Does Lady Ross Carter still owe us a clue? Because there's something about a gymnasium clue down there under Figg's Pigs.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes,
that is
TBD
true.
Gym clue.
Yep.
Gymnasium clue.
Yes.
Ross Carter, yeah.
Gymnasium clue. Yep.
We should put that in the roster so we can use it.
Mm-hmm. So while they're doing that, it's like if you, if Dr. Whitford and Jack would like to have a scene, like what are they doing this fine morning? Back at Hargrave House. You obviously brought Patrick's body back, you know, and then also maybe Jack, you're still kind of like still healing from your bruising. I mean, I don't know if you want to ask Dr. Whitford about that or what have you.
I mean, Dr. Whitford, are you comfortable with people watching you work, or?
I'm comfortable with you watching me work.
All right, then I will watch you work. And as you are, you know, you've got your whatever up to your elbows in guts, right? Is the thing that enjoying every minute of it. I am sitting in, I think I'm sitting in a very solidly built wooden chair, you know, that has a bunch of straps for the arms and legs and neck and stuff, which are not actually strapped around me, but I'm kind of recumbent in this chair. I have this kind of occasionally I look up from where I have a couple of pieces of paper that I am kind of carefully folding and making little creases in and folding back on themselves and stuff like that. And just sort of every now and then I look up from it to see what you're doing and kind of wince a little bit and then go back to the thing that I'm carefully folding up here.
Now, is this a time that I can do beneath the skin move, or is that a different part?
No, you can totally do it whenever.
Okay. I would like to use my move beneath the skin then.
Okie dokie.
While this is all happening.
I'm in a corpse. You may ask the keeper 2 of the following. So which of the 2 of the following do you want to ask me?
I'm pretty sure I knew how this person died. So what would an untrained eye overlook here? And can I take a body part? So I feel like narratively, Jack just knows that I'm harvesting people. So I don't know if I'm trying to do anything without him noticing.
You can just easily say he doesn't count because he knows. And he's aiding and abetting you. Because, I mean, that's what happened, like, you know, out of character, this is what happened with me and my factotum. I mean, like, you know, when I was playing the mother, my factotum knew he was aiding and abetting me. It was fine. So, perfectly fine. Okay, so untrained eye. Give me a second. We'll think about this. And then while I'm doing that, I need you to think about which body part you're taking. I'm
especially interested in the boreness, if there's something narrative that goes with that. But
okay. All right, let's see.
I'm also just interested in, I don't know, livers or something.
Untrained eye. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, hold on. This is with figs. Let me see. And then let me see what we have so far that you guys have looked at. My skeletons, your clothing. The boredness. Okay.
Mans, maybe do you mind if I kind of like kick off our vulnerable move while you're
Absolutely.
thinking about what to while you're thinking about composing a clue there for us.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Jack kind of does a little like a grunt, like he's semi-satisfied with what he's managed, and then he leans forward and just sort of plops down onto the little, whatever, like the silver tray with all of the bloody instruments on it and stuff like that. A little origami pig that he's made. Like it's like not great. It's clearly like he has sort of improvised it, but he did manage to find some kind of, like rose-colored paper somewhere. and he just kind of plops that down on the tray there, next to Dr. Whitford. He says, "So, is there anything fundamentally changed on the inside? Or was it just that his spirit had been twisted?"
I haven't found anything fundamentally changed yet, but there must be something.
It's not the first servant of that particular entity that I've encountered. I didn't mean to shock you by what I did back there in the alley, but all I can ask is that you trust me that trying to reason them back to a normal diet is not something that would have worked.
I can experience distress without experiencing shock, Jack. I would have liked a little more warning, and I believe that you may have distressed Harley past a group. It's going to take a little more bribes this time, but
Harley is a hearty soul, given the sort of business that he gets up to on your behalf at night, I'm sure.
I promise you, Harley has never had to batter to death anyone who then stopped being dead. I mean, I'm sure with the longer acquaintance with you, he will learn that skill as well. But I think that you forget that just because it doesn't discomfort you to experience harm, that it still discomforts others to offer harm.
I appreciate the reminder. It is easy to become bored by it. It still hurts in the conventional manner of such things, but yes, when you say shock, it's no longer shocking to me, and it hasn't been for a very, very long time. I will rely upon you to remind me when I am being unnecessarily shocking.
Again, you don't shock me, you distress me.
I mean to those of us that are not inured to the business that we do here at Hargrave House.
You're still a person, Jack. Like, causing you pain is still not good. I mean, I don't wish to judge people who enjoy either side of that sort of thing, but I don't wish to hurt you.
Part of me is convinced that there's a ledger somewhere, and if I accumulate enough suffering, that at some point that will settle my account.
Is there someone governing this ledger?
There must be, because if this is truly the random fate of an uncaring universe, it will change this from a tragedy I am suffering to a comedy.
I think it is equally awful if it is intentional or unintentional. But I hear what you are saying. I don't wish to be the instrument of the suffering, but if it is the thing that contents you with your suffering, I understand it.
There are things unpleasant enough that I will not volunteer to undergo them. A beating is very, very low on the list of such things. It's unpleasant, but it heals, and it's the sort of thing that I hardly even notice anymore.
I don't think that's a good enough reason to do it to you.
Well,
but I understand the lack of care you have for your own.
If you ever offer to lock me in a trunk and throw me overboard in the middle of the ocean, I will politely refuse.
I suspect it shan't come to that, but I appreciate your assurance that you would refuse it.
I shrug, and I squint at the pig, and I say, "Passable first effort, but I don't think I've got the nose right." And I kind of lean back, and I, kind of take another piece of paper out of that little velvet-lined kit and start to, concentrate on it.
Oh, I acquired you some more of that paper you like. It's in the drawer over there.
As you do that and indicate that, You find something, Dr. Whitford, and before I describe exactly what you find, conditions?
I don't have any mark, but Dr. Whitford can clear whichever one she thinks is appropriate for the based on the conversation.
I think that unghoulish. Yeah, I'm going to say that ungoulishes me.
Okay, that's fine.
Cute.
Grounding, yeah, that's sure. I think as you're talking with Jack and then, like, you're rooting around in Patrick, you find something really strange. I think you find, again, he's a brutish person, and he was kind of snuffling and, like, like the jaw was kind of like jutting out as if he's I had tusks, growing out of his mouth. His hands were curled, but then, like, kind of like put together as if, like, hardened and hoof like and such. But I think within the hands, like, you're just kind of like you split things open as you would. But I think within the arm and the hands, you see within that recess, you see like skeletons, skeletal hands within his hands, kind of growing out of each other, each one smaller than the next.
Nope.
That is a clue. That is definitely something the untrained eye would not have spotted. So cleared conditions. From this, you can create a clue. I've given you a clue from your particular move, but you can also now create a clue from the vulnerable move between the two of you. So, yeah. What do you
I think he's got some kind of brand on him that I have seen before down through time that indicates that, like, is basically property of Moch, that pagan swine god.
Go ahead and put that in the
Yeah.
Fig's Pigs then. Okay. While they're doing that, downstairs or where Dr. Whitford's lab is, Lady Ross Carter, what kind of morning are you having?
Not a good one. I think I woke with more pain than normal after last night's outing of my pain. I think I woke being willing to admit it a little bit more. So I'm probably the last one down for breakfast this morning, where normally I would be the first.
Rose has not come back from... Oh, well, Larrabee has not returned from where she has been. So Mrs. McGarity has a worried look on her face.
You'll be all right, Mum. I tried to keep everything fresh.
And she undoes the silver salver, and then, like, you see your usual breakfast available for you.
Yeah, I'm okay. Just the years are catching up with me.
Gallivanting around. Just remember, I mean, as active as you are, you're no spring chicken.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it gallivanting so much, but I appreciate the concern. Nothing that a good cup of tea won't help fix.
She pours it out for you, yes. Piping hot.
Thank you. I did sneak over and look at the Americans playbook, and Mike also has a lot of conditions. So I think I want to wait till next time to do one with him so we can both clear one.
Yeah, sure.
I do want to do that ASAP, though.
Yeah, Mask of Catharsis, clear conditions, American with Explorer. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Making notes.
Cool.
And did you have something that you needed to narrate for Moss Covered Gate?
No, it just I need to come up with the name from the relationship parent. Yeah.
Okay.
Which I will have next week.
That's fine. Perfect. Okay.
And I think while you're off camera, Clint, we can we actually lock in a clue for that the gymnasium clue that Carter owes us?
Yeah. What is the...
I don't remember what the context was. I just remember that Larrabee was there. You were obviously there.
Well, it was the whole...
You were hollering at them while they were wrestling.
We were hollering,
and stuff like that, yeah.
But Larrabee and I were talking about, like, sport and competition, etc. And there was a little bit of back and forth there. But I think what the clue was is like we looked around and we saw somebody or someone. Could I ask, like, is there a way we're leaning and we could frame this clue?
I mean, like, which question? I mean, like, do you want to kind of lean it towards? Because you have, like,
Right,
the
that's
overt
kind of
question or La Hortensia, right? So, what do you think?
because it's like, what type of victim does Obert prefer? Or Jim, do you have an idea of which question that's calling to you?
I mean, so this was happening in the
gymnasium.
gymnasium, right? And
Yes,
so
yes, but I'm just asking, like, which question are you trying to lean towards? And I can.
either one is fine, but I think that I can't help but feel the strapping go-getter lads who are your wrestlers might be the kind of thing that Hortensia lost. Perhaps she had some young man that she was seeing on the sly, or until her family got wind of that or something like that or whatever. I don't want to pre-answer the question or anything, but
Yeah,
like,
well, so here's
if we're going to lean in that direction, yeah.
So thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for. I noticed one of the wrestlers had a sponsored like jersey or like a rug or a robe or something, and perhaps it just said Figg's Pigs on the back.
Oh wow!
Like it was
or
just
a little
like
pig on it or something like that.
Yeah, like something that'll connect some of these guys to that
Amazing.
building.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll fill that in.
I like that. Yeah, that sounds fun. Okay. That sounds cool.
Was it red?
Automatic branding. Oh God, sponsored by Figs.
I mean, I don't really know if that was a thing, but you know what I mean.
No, but yeah, I mean, I get it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Could have been easily a gift, right?
Yeah.
Embroidered with her own hands.
And that could also work with either of those questions, actually.
Yeah. That's what's cool. Yeah. That's why it's a good clue. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Okay.
Was I supposed to also take a piece of Patrick in addition to the piece that I already got?
Yeah. I mean, like,
okay.
This is like, you got the eyes from the scene, but then like, you can be rooting around again, and then this is from.
Yeah, the move lets you take another one. Yeah. Because we got the corpse there, so yeah.
Because you also saw like the skeletal hands problem. Yeah, so whatever you want to, whatever you think is. You want to take.
I lost track of one's for the move, one's for the resurrectionists, and I only took one of those, correct?
Yes, you only took the resurrectionist one, so now you have the beneath the skin part.
Okay.
But I think, you'd still have to do the same thing. So every time you take a part, then you would still do the whole, I hold it, and then I tell a memory of what it reminds me of my loved one, blah, blah, blah. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can tell a story whenever.
Yeah. Do you know what part it is? And then just make a notation that you have to do the story.
I think I'll go for lungs this time.
Yeah, he was big, barrel-chested, healthy dude.
Oh, yeah. Did you...
You didn't get to the lungs when you were battering it.
Yes, yeah. I battered him about the head and shoulders.
Which you did batter. Did you want to do the lungs now, or do you want to wait?
Sure. Yeah. I can do them now.
Okay.
On the outside, it initially doesn't seem like a happy memory, but Elinor got pneumonia very badly and had that sort of, you can feel your lungs when you breathe. And Dell brought her a great deal of soups and tonics, and just Elinor had not really experienced being taken care of before. So it's, even if she was very sick, it's a very treasured memory.
I want to leave a little bit of time. I don't want to get too involved with stuff, especially because it's like, I don't want to go too much over. So we're just going to wrap up early.
Hitting the pause button here, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We'll continue with day phase when we get back. I mean, like, there's plenty to do because Mask of Catharsis, American and Explorer can do their vulnerable move. And, we'll continue on with day phase. So, this is up for Stars and Wishes. Stars are things that you liked about the session. Gameplay, roleplay each other. And wishes are what you'd like to see for next time or the future. Clint,
I'll
you want to start us off?
Yeah. Wait, is Kim gone?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll start with Jim. Jim, just straight up ripping your arm open without any preamble was just like, yes, and perfect way. And I think we should all expect that at this point. There's the option of someone getting hurt, it will happen. Kim, I love that you were like, with the resurrectionist move, you're like, you know what, that's okay if we have some trouble. I'm gonna pick the two fun things. So I love it. But more importantly, your scene at the end with Jack saying, "I don't want to hurt you," or you said, I don't wish to hurt you," is such a complicated position between the two of you because he wants that and you do not. It was really, really beautiful. And Mads, Dr. Klauser's voice, awesome, love it. And rolling with all the new ideas people are throwing at you. You're excellent at it. So those are the stars. Wishes. I wish Mike to return so we can start poking at this Pinkerton.
Yeah, definitely want to introduce that for sure.
Yeah.
Like more officially. Okay.
Seconding Clint's, like Jack's like, fuck making a plan. Let's just bleed on things was
That was a plan.
a plan that you didn't actually share with anyone else on scene. Also, your unseen was devastating. And I really liked the vulnerable scene. How you're leaning into and bringing us into the world weariness and the trauma of unending life. Clint just starting off with, oh, ethics now I see, in just this withering tone was beautiful. As was the rotting pineapples as your unseen. That was a really nice, I don't know if it counts an echo, but it was an echo. And getting competitive about like, I'm gonna fade into the background. Oh wait, no, someone's doing something better than me. Fuck this. Mads, your evident delight at all of our banana pants moves is really satisfying. Like, I don't know, it makes me feel like you're having fun, which is really sort of, it's like a loop that I really appreciate. Also, all of the Pemberton Pot scenes, like I'm still shipping them, and so the enjoying each other's company and the well-met bits were really satisfying. Wishes? Again, I'm enjoying hanging out with Jack and all of the Elinor Jack interplay. I keep thinking about Jim saying that this was a wet villain, and now I'm identifying them as wet and dry. Like, Azure Eye seems kind of dry, and Figs is wet, and I'm interested in like who's wet next. So I'm looking forward to finding out.
Amazing.
Fantastic. Yes. Yeah. This is, the figs are soaked. It's just, yeah. I wrote down Dr. Klauser totally sucks, and Mad's voice made him even worse, which is fantastic. Like, I hated that guy, and then you gave voice to him. It was like, oh yeah, no, that is, we are going to take him down hard, which I'm really looking forward to. So that's fun. The fact, Clint, that you milked that costume we put Lady Ross Carter in. Just, you're like, oh, I'm not letting go of that. That was, you wore it straight through. Like, and it was funny because after all of the like objection and we can't, and, like Miss McGarry's like, how dare you, that you're like, oh yeah, I'm keeping that. I'm delighted by that. So that was fantastic. Mads, just a gaming thing. Thank you for being willing to have a conversation about 7 and 9s can be tough.
Yeah.
And that, is it a complication, or did I undo the fact that it's a hit? And sometimes, and like I've done that as a GM where I've said, oh, and the complication is that they get away. Well, no, we were trying to capture them. So like, it's like, oh, okay, well then let's, but the fact that you're like absolutely willing without hesitation to have that conversation with us and go through, and us work through it together, that was great. And I really, really appreciate that. So thank you very much for that. That was just some, just primo GMing there. So very, very, very cool. I've got the going last thing of, I wrote down a bunch of stuff we've mentioned already. Clint not leaving well enough alone with Dr. Klauser. Lady Ross Carter having to, just having to get a word in. Dr. Whitford, the fact that like your response to Jack doing things like that is not, absolutely not. It's Oh, it's going to be another one of those nights, I see. The way you kind of got that across, kind of, I think, like anybody that was tuning into the show, like if this was their first episode, they would understand that this has happened before. Uh, that this is a pattern of behavior, and that that we're just going through it. So it's just fantastic. Kim, I was delighted by the thing with the eyes, with the flirting lessons that your friend gave you, was giving you, and just kind of what a kind of mundane, like a girlish memory that is for the icy Dr. Whitford to have. And those little glimpses of her before, the big trauma that we've all, every one of these characters has gone through. Those are really, really neat. And it's very cool to see them happen, in those little tiny little glimpses. They're not the like, kind of Baroque paragraphs that we write for our flashbacks, but I love that they're just little brief snippets, that if they were on screen would just be a few seconds, and that was really, really neat. Both of those were really cool this evening, and I'm absolutely looking forward to more of those. Wishes, I was promised that the Dr. Klauser has some kind of like boxing lady who is his bodyguard or something like that. We're going to need to meet her. Specifically, Jack is going to need to meet her. So I would very much like to make sure that she puts in an appearance. And also, I want some gunfights. We've got a Pinkerton, we've got our gunslinger. I want like lead flying in the streets of London here with the two of them. So I'm gonna nudge Mike in that direction. Put my vote in for seeing a little bit of Wild West stuff going on, so that we can really see him, kind of uncork that part of his character.
We will see how possible this is. Oh my gosh. I enjoyed everybody's unscenes today. There's something about moonlit mudlarking that just, I remember it was very hazy in my mind when we did it, and it was okay. But I mean, like when you guys did it, it's like I could picture these characters going through what they were finding very well, and I enjoyed them a lot. And then like how you harkened back to your echoes, those were really cool as well. I mean, like even the smallest hints were still like, oh, I recognize that was great. Oh, and then like star for the rotting pineapple. I don't know if that was on purpose, but I mean that was beautiful because I saw in the chat like
That
was
100%
Jim going no
100% on purpose.
So even though that didn't count as a true echo in the night, I love the callback to
That was not aiming at the. Yeah, I was just like, I want to mess with Jack's pineapple.
No, love it. That was beautiful from last episode. Oh my gosh, so that was great. The whole thing with Lady Ross Carter, and then just starting to, admit the pain and the whole weakness thing. But I mean, like not weakness, but I mean like kind of like the past, and then again knowing that she needed to hide from Dr. Klauser, and yet not willing to just let it go and then just let Pemberton Potts do her like, very like intelligent thing. I mean, and like wanting to just kind of also be known in the mix too as like, asking intelligent questions. I just thought that was like so fun and funny. Would Lady Ross Carter have done so if Pemberton Potts hadn't been there? That would have been
not at all.
She would have kept it under wraps and would have been fine. But no, it was because her frenemy was there. I loved it. I love that whole like, just the motivation being like, really spot on. I loved it. And then just dealing with each other, like at the end of the night phase was just really cute. And then asking for the carriage ride at the end was fun. Dr. Whitford, just your your resignation and like, yeah, this is Jack. This is definitely Jack. And like Harley just like, are you sure, Mom? Like, okay. I mean, like if you say so, I really liked the like, being able to bring in Harley and then like kind of having him be your sidekick for the evening. All right, you need me to help out. This is what I'm gonna do, and that was awesome. And then like your vulnerable move with Jack, and then just trying to convey, hey, don't want to do this to you. I mean, regardless of you being used to it, I mean, like, just remember, you're human or whatever, and then like, just trying to make sure that he doesn't get lost in the sauce of like this immortal bullshit and like being desensitized. I really appreciate that, because you and your quest for science, progress could just as easily be lost in the sauce as well. So I really love that whole relationship between the two. The parts narration was really fun. I mean, again, like Clint said with the whole, or was it Jim? But the whole thing about like, that is not something that I would have suspected with the eyes. I mean, like the lesson in flirting, that was great. I enjoyed that a lot. And then Jim, I really do enjoy seeing more of Jack and learning more about his struggle with this whole, there's a ledger out there. And I'm hoping that me doing this and going through this crap is going to allow me to finally get my rest. And you don't know. You can't say for certain. And I really enjoy seeing, him try to figure it out. So I really like the way you're conveying this. I really like this playbook. I mean, like, I'm a little sorry that I feel like either you're rolling really well or I'm doing this wrong, because I feel like I can't slap you with a condition yet.
Having played it for half a dozen sessions, there's a tweak I think we can discuss making to that move so that it will come into play, so that I can actively activate it rather than have to kind of passively wait for you to lay that on me, and that's why we play test these things. So
Yeah.
so that's a thing we can talk about between sessions. But I think there's ways to tweak that so that it comes into play more often.
Yeah, I mean, like, because again, I just like feel kind of like, I'm not sure, is this where it comes into play or not? And then so like it is what it is. And then again, when you roll so well, I'm kind of like, well shit, this doesn't make any sense, So, but at any rate,
I've got some thoughts about it, and we'll talk about it offline. Yeah,
perfect. But I really enjoyed Jack's journey so far, and again, I kind of like really enjoy the friendship or relationship, whatever the hell ship it is, between Dr. Whitford and Jack.
Situationship.
Whatever it is. But I also like to see, like the byplay with the other characters as well. I mean, I know we haven't quite had the opportunity and such. The beginning of my wishes.
And one of my wishes is the opportunity where I can just tell Rose, just shoot both of us. Which is, like it's just like right there. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. This is gonna be great. Holy shit.
I like how we've set up like there's two characters where you could just beat them up, and then there's two characters that are obviously like Elinor and Lady Ross Carter.
Don't do anything. Like,
clearly one of us is gonna get badly injured.
Oh my gosh.
Instead of one of the two.
Right. Well, yeah, because it just makes more sense. So I mean, this is what I kept on telling you, like, like in my game facilitator camp, Kim. It's just pivot, just change it up, like, whatever makes sense at the time. Wishes, oh my gosh, so many wishes. I've got to give some blowback to Dr. Whitford, because you didn't make that choice of like no blowback, so I got to bring it home to you somehow. Bring that invitation to tea at some point to Lady Ross Carter. Definitely, bring in the Pinkerton for reals for Larrabee. Yeah, for Jack. Let's figure out, get some more tweaking a little bit, so this way it's like I can bring more conditions to you, or like, just like not quite be so reticent about like, putting things upon you to make sure that you can really live this playbook, but then also not make you the punching bag continually, I mean, like to make it somewhat balanced. Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, you say that's not the entire design intent of the playbook.
I know. But I mean, like, again, to make sure that there's like, other things that can be done with it. Because I mean, like, I do want to see your story. That's the other part of it too. And then like another star to you, Clint, for keeping the 5, keeping the 5 for Lady Ross Carter. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. I wasn't sure whether you're going to keep it or not, but I mean, like, I'm glad you did, because sometimes the failures are really fun to see, and just kind of follow through with. So I appreciate that very, very much. And that brings us to the end of our session tonight, and I appreciate you all for sticking with it and going through the paces. We will continue on with day phase along with all the other things that we have to get done before the continuation with day phase. Hopefully we'll get Mike back so we have our Mergen in earnest for next time. And you guys have a wonderful week. So
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you so
fun.
much.
Thanks. All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.